well, we slept in. But it is the penultimate day of Summerween, and I got a lot of books to finish. Bernie, you ready to get up? You ready to go outside? Oh, your breath. I'm just gonna make a quick coffee, take Fern out real quick, and get to reading. I did not read as much of the Rotting with. Oh, I need to water my plants. I did not read as much of The Rotting Within as I wanted to last night because, one, I got sleepy, and two, I started later than I meant to because I was playing Stardew Valley. So, yeah. Is it toasty? Is it toasty outside? Look at that goofy little tongue. Look at that goofy face. Oh. Okay, I think I'm gonna make myself some lunch. Honestly, I'm probably gonna watch a little bit of the new episode of The Bachelorette. Reserve all judgment, let me live my life. And then I'm gonna clean some and probably keep listening to Goosebumps. And then hopefully take a break and start, what's it called? The Haunting of Rookwood House? Something like that. Gonna start that. Yes. Well, chapter 1 was really good. It was a good little prologue from like the past, like 1965, kind of setting up for there's something in the house kind of thing. But I am tired, so I'm gonna go inside and make me some iced coffee to bring out here. Burn, do you want to go inside and get some water? Do we need to hydrate? Oh my god, it's so good. All right, back outside. I am really enjoying this so far. I'm only like 30 pages into it, but it's exactly what I wanted. It's cozy, kind of spooky. This guy, literally his name is Guy, just found out that his there's like a house in his name, and he's come on hard times and everything, so he wants to like fix it up and sell it. And so he's moved into the house, and yeah, and I like the vibes. It is hot, so I'm gonna go inside. All right, back inside. We've cooled off. So now time to go immediately right back outside to water my plants like I've been talking all day about doing. Is that a sentence? Anyway, I'm gonna throw on my Goosebumps book and water my poor little plant babies. All right, y'all. It is the final day of Summerween, and I attempted to stick to my TBR, and I would call this a success. I finished The Rotting Within last night. It was so good. I'm still in the middle of my Darcy Coates book, and I'm going to continue reading that. I think I can finish it probably in the next couple of days. But yeah, I, for the most part, read everything that I wanted to get to and had a few surprise books come in the mix. So yeah, I'm just going to do a little wrap up to finish up this vlog, this haphazard vlog that I've put together. So yeah, a little wrap up. The first book I read was for the slasher prompt, which was The Bloody Tracks of Bigfoot by David Irons. If you watched my video before this, you'll know my thoughts on it. I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. The majority of the book, I would give a 4 out of 5. The kills were really bloody. They were really good. Like the whole time I felt like I was watching a 80s B horror movie, and it was fantastic. It was just the end that kind of did it for me. I almost rounded it down to like a 2.5 or a 2, but I think just for the cover and the kills, I'm going to give it a 3. The next book I read was Stay Out of the Basement by R.L. Stine. It's the second book in the Goosebumps, like the classic Goosebumps books that I never read as a child and am now obsessed with as an adult. So this one was really fun. I don't really rate children's books necessarily. I'll rate middle grade, but it feels weird to rate a book that's like, 80 pages and written for a child. But if I was gonna give it a rating, I would give this one a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. It's about these 2 kids, and their dad is a botanist that's recently been fired, and he is working on plant things down in the basement and wants the kids to stay out of the basement. And of course they do not. And they see these strange plant things that their dad is working on. And I thought this was really fun. I love plants. I was a wildlife major. My husband's obsessed with plants. And it was just, even though there was no like details on the science of everything, it was just a really fun time. So I really enjoyed that. And it put me in a Goosebumps frame of mind. So the next book I read was the next book in Goosebumps called Monster Blood. And this one wasn't so great for me. It's literally about a kid that goes into a toy store and buys a jar of slime that keeps growing and growing and growing. And like his dog eats it and his dog keeps growing. It's just, it was fun, but it was more like a 3 out of 5 if I was going to rate it. But yeah, it was a good time. The next book I completed was The Worm and His Kings by Haley Piper. I gave this like a 4.25, 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is a subterranean cosmic cult horror, which is a lot of things for a book this big, but it did them all, and it did them all really well. The writing in this was beautiful. I loved the characters. Monique was a fascinating character to follow. And Donna, while at the beginning I didn't really understand Monique and Donna's relationship, I understood it as a romantic relationship, but I didn't understand it from the point of you never see Monique and Donna interact. And so I was just like, you just have to kind of go into this knowing that they are lovers and believing in that love, because you never get the buildup of their relationship in here, which kind of is a downside for me. I like in my books for there to be, I like to believe the relationship is real, besides just the main character being like, I love my significant other, I love my girlfriend. So that was a little bit of a downside for me. The only other downside for me with this book is there is a lot of description and not a lot of dialogue. And there's not a lot of room for dialogue in here, because Monique is mostly through this book on her own as she is searching for Donna. She encounters some people in the subterranean depths. She encounters a few people, but not a lot. So there's not a ton of dialogue, and I didn't realize how badly I needed dialogue to keep me, like, push me through a book. So there were some slow parts in here for me, but the writing was outstanding. The actual horror was really, really good. There was some good kind of like body horror in here. It's a really good example of cosmic horror. Although I will say, if you don't like cosmic horror, or you've never read cosmic horror, I don't know if I would start with this. I think I would start, if you've never read cosmic horror before and you're interested in it, I think I would start with The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval. That was one of the first cosmic horror novellas that I had read, and it's what got me intrigued with the genre. So I don't know if I would start with this. But if you know that you like cosmic horror and or religious cults, this might be the book for you. I really enjoyed this. The next book I read was yet another Goosebumps audiobook. It was called it's called Say Cheese and Die. I had so much fun listening to this one. It's about this group of kids who break into this old man's house, because they call him Spider because he's just really weird and spindly and creepy. They break into his house and they're like, just to see what's around, and they end up stealing a camera, and they use the camera, but whatever they take a picture of doesn't come out the way they think it will. And they find out that the camera is predicting the future, and the future is bleak. So is it predicting the future, or is it creating the future? Who knows? This was so much fun. It reminded me of a Twilight Zone episode, which, if you watched my other video, when I talked about one of the stories that I loved from my vacation horror anthology, you know that I love anything that feels like the Twilight Zone. It's not necessarily a mix of sci-fi, but it's just, I don't know. There's something that just, when I read it or see it, I know it. And Say Cheese and Die felt like a kid's Twilight Zone episode. So I give that one like 4 out of 5 stars. It was a lot of fun. I'm probably going to keep listening to random Goosebumps audiobooks throughout the rest of the month, because it is now my comfort listen between audiobooks. So that's a fun fact I learned about myself during this readathon. And then finally, I finished The Rotting Within, which fulfilled the prompt of, oh yeah, I forgot to say, The Worm and His Kings was my pick for Read a Book with Halloween Colors, because this green, which I don't know if it shows up as bright green as it actually is on camera right now, but this green and black just feels like Halloween colors to me. So that was Halloween colors. The Rotting Within is the book that I read at nighttime. And that, if you're wondering a good book to read at nighttime, that is one. It was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. It's my first book by Matt Kurtz. It's my first book by Matt Kurtz. And if he's written anything else, it will not be my last. I enjoyed his writing so much. It flowed very well. It was such an easy read. Like, you don't really need to use like a lot of brain power to read it. He gives you exactly what you need to see the setting, to know what the characters are doing, where they are. And it was just so perfectly creepy. It had, you know, when there's jump scares in a book and it can't really be a true jump scare because it's a book. They're rarely done like well. You can usually see them coming because it's a book. And the jump scares in this, because I don't have a better word for it, the jump scares in The Rotting Within were really good. They're like, you know, the things that just appear behind closet doors, or just you're peering through the hallway and then there's a burst of lightning and there's something there. It was just done really, really well. All the creepy elements that you need. It wasn't a haunted house story, but it had that feeling of a haunted house story, with just like the creepiness that was just, it was really good. Although I will say it was not what I was expecting. By the title, The Rotting Within, I thought there was going to be body horror elements to it, and there was not. There was no body horror. So I wouldn't say I was disappointed by that. I was just surprised. But to be fair, I didn't read a lot of what it was about, and I just jumped into it. So, but what The Rotting Within is about, it's about this woman, Kinsey, and her 2 kids, Tim and Lily. They are escaping from an abusive situation from her husband, Paul, and Kinsey has recently reconnected with her grandmother, Shirley, who she has never met before. And Shirley owns a bed and breakfast, and so Kinsey and her 2 kids kind of retreat to the bed and breakfast to live with Shirley and kind of be a safe space while Kinsey gets on her feet. And there are 2 longtime residents of the B&B that live upstairs, and they are creepy, and creepy things happen. Yeah, it was a good time. The Rotting Within is definitely a book that I would want to take to my parents' mountain cabin and read and creep myself out. Really good book to read in solitude if you really want to get creeped out. But as it was, reading it at night, it really did it for me. So that is my quick little wrap up of the books that I read for Summerween 2022. It was 6 books in total, 3 of them Goosebumps audiobooks and 3 of them physical books. And I'm very happy to say that 2 physical books and 1 ebook, sorry. But the 2 physical books and the ebook are all things that I already owned. So I'm very proud of myself for not flocking to the library to fulfill every single one of these prompts, because that's what I usually do with readathons. But yeah, that's my little wrap up. I hope y'all's Summerween went really great. I'm excited to keep reading my Darcy Coates. I am enjoying it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'm probably going to read some not spooky things for the rest of the month, because I need a little palate cleanser. But yeah, I hope y'all Summerween was fantastic, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!